So something that's of interest to me is searching high-value specialty crops that have a potential to be grown in Nebraska. This particular project that we're working on is looking at hops as a potential specialty crop. There's a lot of interest in it right now, especially with the microbrewers that are going on, and people are kind of just starting hops without really knowing any baseline. So this project was basically set up just to evaluate the relative success of hops in Nebraska. We're going to do some qualitative analysis, so how good is the hops on an annual basis, which is critical for the microbrewers in order to know whether or not they're going to have similar product from year to year. As well as we want to get an idea of what the productivity is going to be. Nebraska's environment is quite volatile, so we're just wanting to see how good it will be from year to year. Some of the things that we're looking at is we're just growing it across a variety of areas in Nebraska. The hops production mainly is on the eastern side of the state right now because of the microclimates that they find along the Missouri River Valley. But we want to see how well it would be out in the exposed areas. One of the problems with hops is its relative problems with some different types of diseases. And one of the benefits we might have in Nebraska is a lot of air movement, which will prevent disease problems, but on the other hand, it might cause some problems with the quality of the cones themselves. So with the project, we have 4 different sites that we're looking at, wanting to compare elevations, exposure, and the types of soils that we have in the areas.
A lot of the hops that are grown were originally developed in the Pacific Northwest, and so they have a lot of adaptation traits and pest tolerance to things that are important in that growing environment. And those varieties don't necessarily perform very well in our region. And so my goal with our breeding program is to try and take some of the brewing quality characteristics of those Pacific Northwest varieties and incorporate some of our locally adapted or native germplasm. So we have some hops that are believed to have fallen off of trains several hundred years ago as trains migrated across the U.S. And as the seeds fell off the trains, they germinated, established local populations of hops. And so the thought is that those hop varieties, those local wild varieties, tend to have more or better adaptation traits, and so they may have pest tolerance and abiotic stress tolerance that's really important to growing hops in our region. So the idea of the breeding program is really to combine those adaptation traits with the brewing quality traits of the commercial varieties and see if we can't combine those into something that performs well here for our local brewers.
So this project is a 3-year project, but ultimately we want to see the relative success of hops in Nebraska and whether that there is a commercial viability to it or if it's just going to be mainly just a specialty crop for small growers.